Vesta in Scorpio. Vesta represents dedication, commitment, and focus. In Scorpio, it enhances themes of transformation, depth, and intensity. The energy is focused on uncovering hidden truths, being deeply dedicated to causes that require resilience and transforming systems that are stagnant and unhealthy. On the mundane influence, on the collective level, this transit could encourage social transformation, a deep focus on healing and purging old systems, especially in areas like politics, finances, or personal and public relationship. People may become more dedicated to uncovering hidden truth, and there may be an increased focus on collective efforts to regeneration or reform, such as efforts to address corruption, environmental issues, and philosophical well-being. Welcome back to my channel's Cosmic Insight Astrology. I am your co-pilot, Christina, guys. I'm back. This is a new year. I hope this new year going to bring you wealth, abundance, happiness, health, healing, deep healing, joy, laughter, and a lot of loyal people around you, because we will need loyal people around us. Today we're going to talk about, as you see that on the screen, I put actually the screenshot of heaven on the screen, and we're going to talk about actually Vesta in Scorpio, Venus in Pisces exalted. And if you see actually the sky picture, you can also see Vesta is going to also square with Pluto in Aquarius. And also, what I wanted to talk about, Enif, which is a fixed star, which is going to conjunct Venus when it enters tomorrow night in its exaltation in Pisces, right? And Enif actually, it's a very violent, warlike star. You saw the terror attack today in America, and actually on Bourbon Street, and actually I was predicting more terror attack, but it's going to due to the Pluto-Mars opposition, and the last Pluto-Mars opposition going to end actually in April 27th, and it's in Leo and it's in Aquarius. Leo representing people who are royalties, who could be like famous people, presidents, people who are actually in power, because Pluto is power over here. So we're going to talk about all of these influences, and a little bit in depth of everything. But we also going to talk about the goodies over here, because of the trine. It is going to give us a little goodies, and also because of we are talking about actually Vesta as well. And as I said, Vesta represents dedication, commitment, and focus. And also, Venus exalted in Pisces. Pisces rules the 12th house. It rules actually the underprivileged, the people who are orphans, who are actually incarcerated, who are in prison or jail or hospitals. But it's also rules hospitality as well, boutique hotels and hotels as well, faraway countries traveling, for example, exotic traveling, islands, and it rules the ocean, obviously. And Venus is the planet of beauty and love and harmony, and Venus also peace as well. So if you know actually what are those planets and signs talking about, you're capable to brainstorm and put it together. What does it mean? Venus also currency as well. So in Pisces, when it's exalted, it's like a VIP. It works like a VIP. It's like if you would go to your bucket list vacation, and loves to be there. And, it's going to bring some kind of compassionate and creative influence here people will tend to feel more connected and more compassionate or more emotional and spiritual as well. But definitely you will see compassion to be rise. And Pisces going to be one of the lucky sign of the year because North Node also going to ingress Pisces January 11th. I'm gonna do a video tomorrow about that for all signs as well. And we're going to have a huge stellium in Pisces, and Venus is going to go retrograde March 1st in Aries, 9 degrees, and it's 10 degrees actually, and it's going to drop back to Pisces and then in its exaltation, and it's going to conjunct with Neptune, Mercury retrograde, North Node, and also Saturn going to be really close by them within orbs, and it's gonna go direct April 12th. All right, so this is what it is, but we're going to talk about right now the Vesta and Venus trine, and what other aspect they are doing. So definitely, in mundane perspective, you know, actually, Venus could also be the financial market because it is, ruling anything to do with luxurious, good or artistic and diverse, or anything to do with creativity, romanticism, and global unity as well. Because Venus also rules Libra, and in Libra it's represent peace, right? And also legal issues, legal matters, alliances. So it could be like, all right, new alliance is going to actually come during these times. But on the financial market, because it's representing currencies and it's exalted, perhaps it's going to actually bring in some kind of increase in some kind of stock. But anything to do with, for example, luxury could actually flourish, or for example, the price of the sugar, anything Venus rules, or it could be something to do with oil prices. It might go up, and we're going to talk about the geopolitical issues because Vesta is going to actually square Pluto and Enif also over here with Venus, and we're gonna go through that as well. But yes, so that could be anything to do with if it's financial system, it could be also like, for example, weight loss product or pharmaceuticals, prices. Could actually go up like Pfizer prices on stock market. We really have to see and have to watch. Guys, I did actually 45 stocks and cryptos analysis. You can buy that on Astrologa site, or you can buy that from me. I'm going to put the package on my website as well, or you can ask me when you listen this video. And, if you shoot me an email, definitely I will send you the price and you can choose your package. And if you are actually doing stocks, because I think I did a really great work with it. All right. So, but let's talk about the trine. And the trine, it's a Jupiterian in flavor. So actually it's a blessing, right? So Vesta and Venus trine over here, it's really bringing harmony, harmonious energy between these two planets. So they flow easily, effortlessly together. And this aspect will support the collective efforts. Anything that requires emotional depth and transformation, because obviously Scorpio is transformation, right? By maintaining compassion, because of, compassion is Pisces, and also harmony is Venus over here. So it's also going to encourage us to pursue our higher ideas with dedication and passion. Even if you would like to start to do something, create some artwork, or start to dance, or play on an instrument, or create a non-profit. Why do I say non-profit? Because Saturn is non-profit, and Saturn actually is traveling with Venus right now in Pisces. So, but the trine itself could manifest as time where people come together to focus on something which is like healing, justice, and humanitarian efforts. Anything to do with the Middle East war or the Ukraine-Russian war could be actually a field over here for the humanitarian efforts, but we did have terror attacks, and there was also mudslide in Spain or Portuguese, somewhere like that, where it's actually took 200 lives, and the media is not really talking about that because the media is all about right now the American inauguration again, and we have to talk about world news as well and world politics, and not only focusing to the US, even if we are interwoven, and obviously the US politics going to influence everything else. Yeah, but anything to do with social justice and charitable organizations, for example, or anything to do with peace and unity is going to be center of attention. For example, there could be more sources who wants to actually take food to Gaza, or some kind of humanitarian efforts to really take people out, and or somehow stop killing, which is like in the Middle East, I really don't see yet the war to be end. But what I see the Russian and Ukrainian war on February 24th, when Mars is going to go direct actually in Cancer. Because February 24th, 3 years ago, the war started. So I see something to do with that. It's around February when it's going to actually have some kind of peace between those two countries. All right. But the financial implication actually of the trine, anything to do with, we're going to have increased focus on artistic and humanitarian causes, as I said. But we're going to have new companies coming up, for example, and it could be really profitable startup or companies which is going to get some kind of boost or popularity, either on social media account, or it could be even some kind of artistic platform what can actually go to stock market as well and have an IPO somehow. And Vesta in Scorpio actually, it's also going to suggest some kind of structure change in finances. So anything to do with the bank system, some kind of new economic system, right? Anything to do with like the financial market. And it could be because Vesta could be very, very ethical. So it's going to actually seek for ethical investment and investment like not equality in investment, because obviously it's not going to happen overnight because the rich is, already like mice ahead. With investment, but somehow it's going to maybe bring in education, like okay, how to do taxes for children, or they're going to talk about stock market and investment and capitalism, and it could be actually a really good um, education system, or also it could be something to do with compassion, teaching children to be compassionate, because that's the only way we are capable to heal nations, each other's, help your neighbors, anything to do with mental health services, and then this could actually really help. All right, so on the other hand, it could also lead to some kind of um, they're going to really try to negotiate peace in the Middle East and in between US and Ukraine, or China, Taiwan, or whatever the conflict is. But not necessarily we're going to have harmony everywhere or peace right away, but at least we're going to hear in the news, there is negotiation. There is the people, the powerful, the elite, the ones who are behind the curtain, the shadow government, whoever is there, they are going to actually try to bring in some kind of peace, or negotiation is going on right now. Yes, and we're going to also focus on deep-rooted issues like poverty and inequality, and environmental degradation as well. Um, because we need to actually heal the social wound. Because something is really outdated. The system is outdated. For example, do you remember in the US we had that Luigi Magnon actually killed the CEO of some United Healthcare CEO. And I would think it could actually, because Vesta is in Scorpio, and Scorpio could be insurance as well, and it's trining actually exalted Venus in Pisces. Pisces is the underprivileged, right? So it could bring in something with like, okay, let's have a better insurance for all. Or, like something to do with insurance is like the countries Norway and Belgium does, like it is free for everyone, and people are healthy. They don't need to, or even Canada, because the healthcare system is a lot better over there. At least it's provided, even if they have to wait a lot. What I heard right now, but it's anyway. At least it's it's granted for people and granted for everyone. On the other hand, what else I wanted to say over here? Um, yes, Enif, because Enif actually is war. It's a Martian energy. It's a very violent star. So Venus over there in Pisces, it could create some kind of issues on ocean. So it could be something with pirates, or maybe it could bring in some kind of issues with yeah, pirates, not only on the Caribbeans, but it could be in Africa region, or on the Middle East right now. Could be like ships going to be hijacked, and be going to miss transportation as well. But also because Enif is violent and it's related to war, I would assume because of the war, what's going on. And Pisces also rules the oil and natural gas as well in astrology. So I would think maybe some countries is going to seize the transportation of oil to, for example, to America. Maybe Russia not going to sell to America, or so on. And it could be also heating gas and heating gasoline, heating oil as well. So, there could be some kind of issue. And especially right now, it's winter, and winter is coming, guys, and it's gonna be cold. And even in South Florida, we're going to have a very cold front. And if they are not willing to sell any more oil or gas to certain countries, it could be like really bad. So make sure if you are living in a country where it's really cold right now, you have alternatives. So hopefully you do. All right. And what else I wanted to talk about here? The square with Pluto, because Vesta in Scorpio also going to square with Pluto. I told you Pluto and Scorpio is related because Pluto rules Scorpio. And actually, um, anything to do with the financial system, tax, mortality rate of the countries, right? Anything to do with, for example, um, nations' debt, and even stock market as well. It's going to go under challenge. So because Vesta is, as we said, it's dedication and commitment, but Scorpio has some kind of darkness over here. And Pluto in Aquarius, actually, it's really revolutionary. But where is it revolutionary? On social level, it could bring in some kind of power struggle, or it could bring in some kind of even some kind of rioting, or more, people doesn't want to, they're going to actually be rebellious and go on strike, for example, because they don't have enough salary. Pluto is salary as well in Scorpio, right? And just like being together, being in groups and going in groups and striking because of in Aquarius. Aquarius ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is rebellion and strikes as well, and groups as well, right? Social circus, so they're going together to strike against something what is they don't like, because there is some kind of intense control and they want to push back somehow. So Pluto is committed actually over here to actually, being resilient and push against the control. On the mundane perspective, anything to do with, institutions, governments, and global power structure as well, where we can see the conflicts sooner or later. And then, anything what is corrupt and outdated, it has to go. But it's not going to go until we are awakened and we are, actually like, all right, we actually have to fight together against the corrupted, outdated power. And until we realize that, nothing going to happen. But hopefully this is going to indicate something and start something again. And I was on social media and reading. A lot of people were asking about the airplane catastrophes, and I mentioned that in my Capricorn new moon video 2 weeks ago. We had actually the Capricorn new moon was ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is in Pisces, but it's squared with Neptune, not Neptune, in Jupiter, with Jupiter in Gemini, which is in detriment, and Mercury in Sagittarius, which was also in detriment, opposing each other's. And actually, Sagittarius is long distance traveling aviation. And, Saturn ruled this moon, which is Capricorn moon. But Saturn also rules Uranus, and not Uranus, but Aquarius, and Pluto is in Aquarius, which is mortality, death. And Aquarius, actually Uranus in Aquarius also rules flying object or birds. And I was mentioning over there could be airplane disasters. And guys, they are short. Actually, since 2020, the airplanes are not updated. They have maintenance issues. They have shortage of staff, for example. And, even you can see the chaos, you can see the delays at the airports all the time. And even the navigation system, because of we are having a lot more solar flares, and it's very, very active 5, 6G. So it could interfere with the navigation system, and it will pick up more and more. And I told you guys in 2025-26, it's going to be a lot of solar flare. And unfortunately, it could screw up the Tesla cars, anything which is actually electronic and rely only on technology, and any flying object, right? So it could increase actually the accidents of, like electric cars and anything to do with airplane. And as I said, Aquarius ruled by Uranus, which is also bird as well. One of the plane was hitting with birds, right, and crashing with birds, and that's why they had the emergency landing. So there you go. This is the whole situation about the story here. So, but definitely there is going to be a reform coming with it, because of Pluto is in Aquarius, and the liars, the corrupted, whoever, for example, because of Aquarius also rules non-profit, right, and charitable causes. And because of this square, we will learn about that. For example, they were collecting money for the people in Gaza to feed them, and they stole it, like, or any other countries, but we will learn about that, and it's going to leave a very, very deep disturbance over here. So you can see that. And you see the sky, right? Pluto and Mars the next day going to oppose each other. So definitely, I told you before, guys, there could be like, like a king is leaving. And I'm going to make a video about the inauguration also during the weekend, and you will see that. But this opposition actually could kill a royalty, actually, take out someone who is in leadership or multiple people. And I always said that because Pluto and what opposition, Pluto and Mars opposition gonna happen 3 times. So it will be, for example, 3 big terror attack, 3 very famous leader who going to die. And don't count actually. Um, oh my God, who is just a second? I forget his name. Mm, right. I had to stop the video because I forgot the name of Jimmy Carter, and actually I really loved him. I don't know how about you guys, but to me, he's the man who going to go to heaven because he was so compassionate and diligent and just giving till end of his life and working and building houses. It was unbelievable. Gave up all his, you know. Retirement money and give it to the poor. I just really, truly adore this man, that he was really there serving others. But I don't talk about him. He doesn't count the one over here who will pass because of it is actually an active leader and Carter was not an active leader anymore. But if you remember, on the eclipse, on the last eclipse, what actually was on the birthday of Jimmy Carter, October 2nd, when he became 100 years old, I told and I said over there, even he can die on the same day, on his 100th birthday, or 6 weeks after that, because that's what the eclipse does. It takes you out, and it's happened on his sun. And actually, Requiem was actually not squaring, but on this eclipse and on his sun as well. And that's why I predicted he's leaving within 6 weeks and in this year, and it's happened. All right, but it was a long time ago. You can go back to the eclipse, what's happened in October 2nd, and you can watch that video if you would like to listen there. All right, but this is over here, this Mars and Pluto opposition, when the sky is also when Venus going to Pisces exaltation, and it's gonna be here for a long time because it's coming back, guys, again. And it's going to come back and stay here from March 27 till April 12, going direct, and even end of April still going to be here. So if you have a Pisces rising sun and moon, you can be really lucky because Venus going to make you feel beautiful and celebrated and all about you. All right. But on the other hand, I also wanted to mention, I'm talking a lot, but I wanted to mention, it could actually increase the price of diabetic pills. Or why? Because Saturn is traveling with Venus over here, and Saturn is restriction, and Saturn leads to actually some kind of seize and hold. And as I said, because Saturn is in Pisces as well, Pisces rules the ocean, it could be some kind of pirate activity. We don't get the diabetes medication in time, and it's increased the value, obviously, because there is more demand than it's on the stock. So obviously it's going to increase the prices there. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to also talk about Enif over here, the fixed star. I mentioned that before, and because it's going to conjunct with Venus. Venus going to transit is the first few days. Because of if we are talking about fixed stars, guys, we're only talking about 1.5 maximum 1.8 degrees. That's the conjunction. You don't really go up either to 2 degrees with the fixed stars. And Enif is really energetic, actually, and also it's really Martian aggression, impulsive. Adds some kind of fluid to this conjunction, but it's more like a very intense energy, right? So it's volatile because of it's this period also could bring in some kind of conflict with alliances. Like, for example, US was supporting a country and not going to be able to support the country anymore. Anything to do with geopolitical events, but it has to be sudden. It's very Martian, it's very impulsive, right? And if it's very sudden and impulsive as well. So, for example, it also could bring in some kind of market fluctuation as well. So, but it has to be tied to beauty creams, and as I said, it has to be tied to pharmaceuticals or oil or heating oil or luxury entertainment, because Pisces also rules entertainment. It rules the singers as well. By the way, because Saturn is in Pisces as well, and Saturn is seizing some kind of freedom over here, it could be like, and Vesta is in Scorpio, they are trining, but Vesta also square Pluto. So I would actually think like we're going to have the PDD trial or the Epstein files are coming out and the names go. But it's never all the names are released because whoever is in power, obviously, if they have anything to do with it, their name's never gonna come out. But at least we're going to have some names to come out with these fires, right? And so that's what I think over here. Anything to do with, like entertainment industry also. And in politics, there will be a lot of very, very passionate debates between actually political parties as well. Or actually, we can see fighting in Congress. So somebody gonna start to talk in Parliament, and they're gonna start to beat up each other. Something like that. I mean, I feel it's sometimes hilarious, but comical, not hilarious, comical actually. And there could be some kind of military tension as well. And it will flare up. Obviously, it will flare up because of Vesta is squaring Pluto, right? And because we just had the new moon. And believe me, the moon cycle always is for at least half year. So it's going to end when we're going to have a Capricorn full moon in Cancer. So, that kind of air issues, tech, like plane issues, or even electric car issues going to end with that uh, Capricorn full moon in Cancer season. So yeah, but military tension because of Enif, because Enif is violent, right? And it is actually conjuncting over here with Venus. And actually, it's not necessarily military tension, but I would feel like, okay, there is some kind of compassionate, charitable organization, right? Um, and they want to go to help to the affected area. Doesn't matter if it's like mudslide, right? Because of that could be, or anything to do with water-related disasters, blizzard, right? Because the snow can cut off villages. But somehow, that if it's a war-affected area, they're going to actually target the ones who wants to help, who are compassionate to help the underprivileged, the one who is actually, pushed to the edge of society. And that's what I see. Or, for example, you will hear news. It's another scenario. I always try to come up with scenarios when people going to go to help, because there is like, okay, them some kind of disaster over here, and there is the first responders. But during the help, the first responders will be the one who is actually get into trouble or perhaps lose their life. Why? They are trying to save the life who was in trouble over there. So this could actually indicate that kind of scenario as well. Uh, because, definitely, and if has that kind of sharp, aggressive kind of nature, definitely representing conflict. All right. Going back to the Middle East conflict, it could be like because of Vesta and Pluto square, it could bring in some kind of new military tension, and it will be another country coming into this kind of conflict. So we already have, right, Lebanon. We already have Syria, right? And I would think Iran going to be more active in this conflict again. So there I could be seeing something like that. But on the other hand, I can see something with, for example, the Russia-Ukraine war, which could be, because Venus is involved with Enif over here, it could actually bring some kind of change with, as I said, oil industry. So if Ukraine or oil going to actually stop uh, trans the transaction or the transport of the oil to other countries, anything to do with natural gas, and then it will bring some kind of military tension with the countries where they stop selling, for example, or stop expecting dollars for payment also, because Russia is the BRICS nation and they have their own currency. They will stop accepting the US dollar eventually. They will. So yes, definitely that's what's happening over here. And of course, if there is some kind of health issues, tensions, war tensions, or any geopolitical impact, it's going to obviously affect the stock market. That's how it's interwoven everything. And because we have Vesta in Scorpio, which is stock market, and also square with Pluto, which Pluto is also stock market, debt, and everything like that. Obviously, that's what's happening right now. All right. So what can happen? But on the other hand, because Vesta is in Scorpio trining Venus and Venus is exalted, it could be also, like if you bought oil stocks, or anything to do with futures, then it could actually rise and increase the price of that. Also, if you have any kind of commodities like what Venus rules, uh, anything to do with sugars, luxury goods, things like that, it also could increase the value over there. So if you are an investor, this could actually bring in significant growth for you as well. Or if you invested in military stocks, because anything to do with, or also, there is stocks for cyber defense. And I just also analyzed the Rablacat and Rocket Lab, I'm sorry, and other stocks also there, which is going to increase significantly, guys. And just check out my writings, because those are really, really detailed, and you can learn actually not only financial astrology just to reading it, but also your investment could increase as well. All right, so I wanted to talk about each individual signs over here, and I also have to actually timestamp as well, because I heard a lot of complain about that. But believe me, I would timestamps if I would have a lot of time, but I will do that because I know it's more convenient for you guys. So let's go and let's talk about each individual signs right now. So Aries rising, we're going to start with. And Vesta is in your eighth house because it's in Scorpio, and it's gonna square Pluto in Aquarius, which is in your 11th house, and trine Venus in Pisces, which is your 12th house. So anything to do with financial commitments, for example, a deep emotional commitment to shared resources, you know, something what is actually clashing right now because of Pluto is there, and Pluto is control. So your desire, and Pluto is in Aquarius in the 11th house. So for example, it could be also uh, clashing with the society you live in. Um, So you do have some kind of desire, or you do want to invest in something, but a friend is keeping the secret and doesn't want you to invest what they invested in, because they don't want you to also gain profit, or jealousy, something like that. Um, but also, if you have anything to do with shared properties and joint finances, it will, and it has to shift right now. Also, if there could be some kind of power struggle, but it could be only emotional power struggle, because the 12th house also involved over here. But definitely, I would think like you will give up a few relationship, anything what is outdated and controlling, and you just don't want to uh, actually keep that relationship anymore. Maybe it's a New Year resolution. But also you can be a little bit isolated, because Venus is in Pisces 12th house. It's a lot of self-love meditation. You might going to go to retreats as well to connect with your spirituality, and feel actually connected. Also something to do with art retreat as well. You need to get some solitude. And, definitely, as I said, because of the disruption between Pluto and Vesta, uh, anything, even on social media groups, for example, where you don't belong anymore, or they start to throw you, you're just going to live, but you can get healed through creativity. You're going to be really passionate. You might going to start to write a script, or start to play an instrument, or start to paint. You're going to express yourself through creativity. Maybe start a photography, filmography class. And on the other hand, something to do with testing your loyalty to friends. Maybe it is anything about money. Somebody is asking money from you, and or you are asking money from a friend, and they are not willing to support you, and then you are just, all right, but next time when you're going to be in trouble, don't count on me either. Yes, on the other hand, there could also transform somehow your romantic relationship as well. Actually, I would say it's more like intimate relationship, anything to do with um, intimate dreams, or your sexuality, or actually it could be also like you are seeking for therapy and therapist, or maybe you want to give up addiction, and you are actually going to a retreat, an addiction center, where you're going to stay for a while because of you really want to heal. So it could be anything to do also with art therapy, music therapy. There is a lot of hidden talents that you're going to actually discover, and that's going to help you to get healed. But definitely, it could be. Or if you had some issues with identity theft, cyber attacks, there could be a good news, and it could be resolved right now. All right, Taurus rising, Sun and Moon. Okay, Vesta going to be in your seventh house, gonna square Pluto in your 10th house, and trine Venus in the 11th house. Seventh house is your relationship, and it is mediation and anything to do with legal matters. The 10th house is career and public image, and Venus is in Pisces, exalted in the 11th house. That's friendship, long term goals, and also it's money from your career. There will be a lot of commitment to partnership, and you might going to struggle a little bit, because you might going to have a promotion, and your partner doesn't want you to be away, or because the promotion going to require a lot of time to spend at work, and they are missing you from home, or things like that could be possible. But also there could be another issue, and it's not necessarily an issue, but your public image is changing. You're going to be more powerful the next 20 years, Taurus people, Taurus rising, and you can become a politician. You can be a very well known, but please don't be infamous, but a very well known and powerful person, someone who is in control. And but it's definitely squaring with the seventh house project. So a house. So maybe you're going to actually have some kind of issue at your work, and they are suing you, or but remember, when Mars is in retrograde, if somebody is suing you, that is turning out for your favor. But if you are the one who sue someone, then it's going to turn against you. So don't sue anyone during this time, but definitely, uh, it could be some kind of legal issues. I mean, because seventh house is legal issues. I didn't find the word. But Venus is in Pisces in the 11th house. You can either get actually married the third time, or engaged, or it could be like you're going to find a love through social activities or group activities. Maybe your friends are inviting you, and that's why you are going to meet someone on a friend's birthday, things like that. But if you have any kind of um, power struggle, and because you will be very ambitious Taurus people, and your social image going to be really, really important. So keep your integrity, because of, it's going to square with Vesta, and Vesta is desires. So, for example, it could bring in some kind of things like perhaps you want to date with your CEO or with your teacher or with the doctor, and you're just a medic. And, it could create some kind of issues, and you will be fired. So be careful with that. Yes. And then on the other hand, it could, and definitely it would then be some kind of clash with authorities and other people, and it could ruin your career. So I wouldn't want that for you, definitely. So just be careful who you're going to involve also sexually over here. But there could be also a lot of creativity in your life, and it could be like you are finding harmony and support in artistic groups and creative community, and you are going to be able to express your deepest emotions. Um, so if you have any kind of conflict, or struggle you have to go through, even in your career or in your relationship, in your marriage, turn to creativity. Creativity will be your friend. Creative values over here, like also because of Venus is in the 11th house, you might going to get promotion, and a lot of money, or you can win the lottery. All right, guys. Gemini rising sun and moon, Vesta going to be in Scorpio in the sixth house, square Pluto in Aquarius in the ninth house, and trine Venus in the 10th house in Pisces. And it's exalted over there. So definitely sixth house, anything to do with service for others, health, it's private hospital, it's your dog, it's your rental property, tenants, anything to do with roommates. All right. Ninth house, long distance traveling, that is your older siblings. It is anything to do with foreign matters. So your passport, your visa, your green card, citizenship, going abroad, traveling, flying, right? And, right now, Vesta in Scorpio actually squares over here in the ninth house with Pluto. So there could be like, you will need to travel, for example, but you don't really feel like, or you are scared, but your work actually force you to travel right now, and things like that. And then what else is going over here for you? Yes, so anything to do with travel and education, because it's the ninth house, right? Pluto there. And it's going to be there for you for 20 years. So you're going to struggle a little bit with your beliefs and worldview. So you're going to change maybe religion, or, like philosophy. But you believed in before, it's not going to suit you anymore. You don't feel home when you practice that kind of religion. So you are alienated from that, and you want to change something. Education, for example, it could bring in a higher education for you, which is going to make you really powerful, or you can do a doctorate the next 20 years. Uh, and also, if you are, young enough, and then also it could change the work environment as well, because of Definitely, the trine between Venus and Vesta going to bring emotional rewards. And also, you can get hired and collaborating with other people, or, you can have a lot of clientele as well, or yeah, a lot of client, and it's going to bring in money for sure. And you will feel loved. You will feel, honored by maybe good reviews also on social media as well. And you will get a lot of social justice because of, there is Vesta is in Scorpio in the sixth, and that could be like, all right, I'm engaging with more people over here, but and because of Pluto is in Aquarius, that is like anything to do with social justice in the ninth house. Like if you have a court case, it might going to turn for your favor. I'm not saying it's going to be granted and given it without, a battle, but it's turning for your favor. And if you have a professional life actually in creativity, anything to do with music industry or film industry, and it's going to bring in some kind of success over there. Definitely, if you want to start to work as a photographer, filmographer, script writer, even it could actually enhance your ability to write a book as well, because of, the ninth house also involved, even if it's a square publishing, right? So it could be as well. Yeah, and your work routine will be helping you to heal your emotional wounds. Maybe you broke up with someone and you couldn't focus and you were desperate, but because of you have a new work routine, you got hired and you have to do your agenda, you have to be in routine that's not going to bring more depression on you. So it actually is going to help you emotionally as well. It could be also bringing in a good tenant or a good rental property or buying a rental property, but also it could bring in a dog or cat, a small animal for you as well. All right. Cancer rising, Sun and Moon, Vesta in Scorpio in the fifth house, square Pluto in Aquarius in the eighth house, and trine Venus in Pisces in the ninth house. Anything to do with your romantic life. Fifth house is investment. It's also luck, lottery winning, anything to do with actually winning something, and your kids as well, anything to do with creative project. And eighth house, anything to do with debt, death, inheritance, prenup, tax. And ninth house is legal matters. Ninth house is philosophy. Ninth house is higher education, long distance traveling, um, foreign matters, as I said, passport, visa, and things like that. So, you might going to actually have a passport, or you go to a foreign country, or you go to a retreat, but you can go to a foreign country to teach, for example, a language course as well, because ninth house also language course as well. You can go abroad to university, maybe, or just live abroad. That could be you can get your citizenship or visa or green card if you were waiting for that. Mhm. On the other hand, the square with Pluto in Aquarius in the 8th and 5th, there will be some kind of tension over here, but it could be very, very sexual, passionate, because fifth house is your like lover, and eighth house is sexuality. So there could be a breakup with a lover. Maybe you are married, but you were cheating, and you break up actually with the one who you cheated with. But also it could bring in some kind of other tension, and it could be actually investment, stock market. You might going to see some kind of decrease in your portfolio, and you will get scared or angry. And that's why I always say, if you invest and if you are a beginner, be cautious and make sure, like you always take out a little bit of when it's increasing, gets the reward out. Um, Not all of it, but little by little, because then when it's going to decrease, there could be less loss over there. But make sure you're just going to go and get financial advisors' opinion, because it's very, very important. But definitely there could be also some kind of amazing situation with, if you are, for example, writer, you can get an advance, or you might going to actually have a new manager or a new agent if you are singing, for example, or if you are an actor and actress, or maybe a ballerina, a dancer, doesn't matter. You don't have to be a ballerina dancer if you are a male, but you can get a new contract over here, which is going to increase your confidence, the value as well, and also your finances as well. So creativity going to bring you joy and happiness, as I said, but there could be some kind of struggle. Maybe you have to take a convention, a course, maybe you need to pay your agent manager before you sign with them. And, it could put some kind of financial struggle because Pluto is in Aquarius, but later on you will see windfall of money. So don't worry about that. Yes, so what else? And you can get actually, if you use music, art, or any kind of creativity, you can actually get healed. If you had some kind of sexual trauma before, maybe you were sex trafficked or abused, you can also find actually a group or some kind of technique which is going to help you to get healed. But definitely it's through music and creativity and art. All right, then, and also it could actually deepen some kind of, intensify your sex life. Leo rising, Sun and Moon, Vesta in Scorpio in your fourth house, square Pluto in Aquarius in the seventh, and trine Venus in Pisces in the eighth. Power struggle in family matters. The tension could come between you and your romantic partner, your significant other, husband, wife, whatever, who you live with, your long-term companion. And it's about maybe to sell the house or not to sell the house, or buy that house or not to buy that house. Because Vesta is in Scorpio and Venus is in Pisces, it could be like, all right, there we can get a good mortgage. Maybe we get an inheritance. Let's pay the inheritance for down payment, but your significant other doesn't want to do that. And there could be a struggle and fight, like verbal conflict over here. Anything to do with, like emotional issues. You might going to cry because of your significant other is really stubborn about finances. Maybe your significant other, you get engaged or married and they want to do a prenup, and you don't want to do a prenup because you say, how can you go into a relationship, a marriage with a prenup already? You don't trust me, kind of situation. All right, but you can get actually emotional support and financial support from a family member, maybe a mother figure, a father figure. So it could be, or maybe you are having the one who is getting an inheritance because your parents could actually be deceased, and you getting an inheritance over here. And you maybe not don't want to share it with your significant other, or you were hiding it, and that's where when it's gonna come through and come out, there the fight going to start over there. You can get actually really, really committed to a relationship. And also it will be more intense, also, intimately as well. And you can heal a family karma, for example. You can take your family to therapy. If your family struggles through some kind of trauma, war, loss, like I don't know, massive shooting. I don't know, some kind of really, really big trauma. You can go together actually on family therapy and heal together. Um, and that's going to be really, really transformative. But also, it could be like you're going to actually renovate your home, and you're getting actually a mortgage, a second mortgage, because you just want to add an additional room to your home, and you want to redesign and renovate something over there because you don't want the old anymore. You want to break that, and you just want to recreate your space, which is going to be more beautiful. All right, Virgo rising, Sun and Moon, Vesta in Scorpio in your third house, square Pluto in Aquarius in the sixth house, and trine Venus in Pisces in the seventh house, exalted. Anything to do with emotional conflict, actually, with your tenant, for example, or landlord, or your roommate, or co-workers or employees. So there could be some kind of issue over here, which is like, you know what, or even with your neighbors, and if you are renting a home, and or if you are rented your home out, and the neighbors over there writing you a letter because your tenant is really loud, so something, a situation like that. Or it could be because of your dog or cat, maybe your dog barking all the time and the neighbor going to report you. But anyway, there are going to be a lot of transformation in health, and you want to have second opinion right now because Vesta and Pluto squares, and Pluto is in your sixth house. So there is going to be a lot of transformation at your work environment and health routine as well. On the other hand, Venus in Pisces is going to bring in healing in relationship and also in business partnership. And if you are actually having some kind of issue with neighbors where it's going to go to a legal matter, it's going to turn for your favor, right? Or actually, you can meet someone in a nearby neighborhoods, or if you go to community gardening or a community event, and then you can meet the love of your life over there. So it could be really good as well. You mingle and you meet someone. All right, there is also going to be some kind of amazing opportunity to express yourself through communication. So perhaps you're going to go to do some kind of public speaking, and it could be a community gathering. You can become like a mayor, or someone who is actually a district leader in your city. But also it could be something to do with creativity as well, which I said so you might going to actually take onto a course and learn something, and it could be something to do with hobby base. You might going to actually recreate your website, or just create a website which is going to bring you more clientele, VIP clientele, or maybe even more subscribers if you are having some kind of social media channel as well. So that could bring that for you. And on the other hand, it could be also like you can start to write a book, or you going to do some kind of crafting. Crafting could give you peace, and like maybe you're going to do ceramic or jewelry making, and it brings you fulfillment. And actually, it could be a sidekick. It's not only going to raise your confidence, but it could be a sidekick and later on increase your salary and finances as well. But definitely balance in relationship, and you might going to find your true love during this time. All right, Libra rising, Sun and Moon, Vesta is in Scorpio in your second house, square Pluto in Aquarius in your fifth house, and trine Venus in Pisces in your sixth house. Second house, anything to do with your values, finances, the food, what you eat. And, yeah, also something to do with your face, but more like the jaw and the neck area as well. So actually, if you wanted to do some kind of, and, because of sixth house private hospitals, it could be some kind of walk-in clinics. If you wanted to do something with, like some kind of treatment, where Pluto and Mars going to oppose during this time. So I don't really recommend this, but you might going to go back to a treatment which couldn't necessarily hurt, but I would still wait after the Pluto and Mars opposition a week later at least. So, but this aspect anyway, it's like going to trigger that. Maybe you're just negotiating the treatment right now. Okay, but what I wanted to say here, so I forget my thoughts, but definitely it could be a new treatment, something to do on your neck, or, maybe even a implant on the lower jaw, a teeth implant or over there, some kind of transformative process. You might need some kind of, bone graft in your teeth, and it's going to feel better. It's going to heal you. There could be some kind of power struggle, because of maybe you have a lover and the lover actually needs money or ask money from you and not able to give you back. Or maybe because of your kids are requiring a lot of money for their hobbies and you feel like, oh my God, I pay so much out, but I don't see anything in return. They're not really good in the subject I'm paying for and what's going on. I'm just going to stop this. I'm not paying this hobby anymore. Um, it could be also like you have an expensive hobby and you are just like, you know what, I have to reconsider it. Maybe I'm not gonna be a pianist, or a dancer. I thought I will be, but I have to look into the mirror and say, all right, that's enough. We are stopping that right now because it is just a waste of money. So it could be that, definitely. All right. On the other hand, there could be some kind of healing and healing actually through because your self-worth is going to get better because Venus Vesta are trining in the sixth house, right? You might going to adopt a dog and the dog, or cat or any small animal, guys, they are really, really healing. And I'm telling you, even if I'm so mad at Cosmo many times because he's so dumb, but he's a healer. I like to cuddle with him and definitely supporting emotionally and any way. He's very, very supportive. So, but on the other hand, you might going to actually invest in rental properties and you want to buy some properties and you're going to rent it out. Why not? It could be really great. This trine could bring that for you. Or you're going to get a job, you're going to get hired, something what you really wanted, something which is exalted in Pisces. So either it could be art, pharmaceutical, anything to do with maybe in a hotel business, right? Or maybe you're going to be a nurse or private nurse, or maybe a jail guard, or working in an orphanage, or working with underprivileged, but definitely going to be fulfilling and you will love it. And also it's financially going to be very, very rewarding. It's not only fulfilling, but financially rewarding as well. Uh, and it's also, well, definitely there will be some kind of struggle in romance. And the struggle is coming because of maybe somebody, your lover wants to travel and you have to be committed to work because you just got a new work and you are not capable, or you're not capable just to hang out with your lover that much as before because you are committed to something. So it could be simple as it is. But definitely self-worth transformation, and you're going to have more self-confidence because of you are accomplishing something in art, or you're going to get hired, and that's why you're going to value yourself. And it's not only because of financially you're going to do better and you're going to gain financial gain going to give you more self-confidence, and obviously wealth could be healing as well. It's not just like animal supportive animals, but it could be healing as well. All right, Scorpio rising sun and moon, Vesta is in Scorpio in your first house, so you're going to be really affected. Square Pluto in Aquarius in the fourth house, that's family, and trine Venus in Pisces in the fifth house, which is investment, children, and lovers, right? And the fourth has anything to do with your roots, with your parents, with your living situation as well. So, you want to change. You want to change the living situation. You want to change everything about your family dynamic. Maybe it's just like a rebirth over here. Like, you're going to become a different persona, and it is like, all right, I have to be a little bit more selfish. My children or my family always, it's not like took advantage on me, but, I just give, but didn't receive as much. So right now I'm changing. And it could be also something to do with like, you are going to have a lot more to learn, and you're going to auditions, and you're going to have an agent, a manager, you're going to spend money on yourself, or you're going to invest money actually in some kind of stocks, or some kind of project, creative project. You just want to invest in yourself, and it could bring a conflict because they say, okay, but we have to pay the mortgage, or we said we're going to renovate the house, but you say, no, you know what, I don't want to renovate again the house, I want to actually spend money on me or on my birthday or something like that. Definitely, there could be some kind of romantic healing, and romance could bring in healing, or you are capable to win the lottery or win something, and then get an advance for maybe a book project or a script project, and you're going to be very happy about that. But you will have to work a lot, and just being on the computer writing, and your family not gonna love that. Okay. So definitely, in that, but passion intensity, that's gonna be really nice for you guys. Very passionate, very harmonious, very loving. Romance is good, looking good for you guys. All right, and it could be like you can also release some kind of emotional trauma, obviously, because of Vesta in Scorpio in your first house. All right, Sagittarius rising, Sun and Moon, my fellow Sagittarian, it's going to happen. Vesta is in our 12th house, square Pluto in the 3rd house, and trine Venus in Pisces in the 4th house. Pluto is going to be actually in Aquarius for 20 years for us, and it's changing our communication style. We're going to be really powerful, and there is a really, Pluto is also control. So you are capable to control with your words as well. So be careful how you use your words because of it could hurt and damage people. So I keep telling that to everyone, but definitely. And it could be something to do. Vesta is in the 12th house and Venus is in the 4th house. There could be some kind of you want to go to a retreat, for example, and it could be like with friends, or you're going to go to a faraway country and travel with someone, but you might going to travel actually not with the family members necessarily, either by yourself because you want to be isolated, you want to go within inside, or it could be like you desire some kind of private time. It is like, all right, I have too much issue with, for example, neighbors or siblings, or there is a lot of writing project or speech project, and I just want to go and actually commit to a week to a monastery where I'm not going to communicate or call or communicate to anyone. But definitely there could be a major issue with peers, neighbors, siblings, aunt, uncles, niece, nephews, 3rd house. This is a square, and it could bring in some kind of issue with them, fight with a neighbor. Well, I hope it's not, but it could be. But the family is healing. You are capable actually to buy a house, an undeveloped land or house in a foreign country, for example, maybe in an island. And it could be one of the indication of this trine, but it could be also, as I said, to go to retreats and heal yourself, or start some kind of art project, or start actually to working on your house. But it could be something like, okay, you want to do a meditation room, a Zen garden, for example, and you're just gonna work on that because you want to really feel like you are in a spa, or you're going to, because of Pisces also could be the bathroom as well. So maybe you want to have a beautiful and update your bathroom as well, beautify it. um, your home and family is healing, and you're healing together. You might go to the very bucket list, traveling together, and then you heal together, because it's going to bring you memories and something you will see but you never saw before, and it could be like one of a lifetime experience with your children, and significant other. So it could be really good. Or you might actually take your parent, maybe they old, but they have a bucket list traveling, and you're just going to say, you know what, I'm gonna take my mom or my father somewhere where they wanted to go for a long time, and that is my present because they might not be here for a long time. Definitely you're going to be renewed emotionally, and it's going to be more security at home. Maybe you all want to purchase a beautiful home, and that's going to be something on your bucket list. That is your dream house right now. um, and it could be, yeah, I like that definitely for Sagittarius. Um, but uh, friendships as well, because of third house is friendships as well over there, and your peer groups. And Pluto go over there, they're going to give you more self-confidence and more power, and it could be something to do with um, I have to check in because maybe I'm too arrogant, and I have to check in time to time with someone because of I don't want to change, and maybe the friends are transforming or leaving because of I became very, very powerful, and they don't like to be around me kind of situation. All right, but definitely you can start to do a creative project right behind the scene, a manuscript, for example, a photography, a filmography as well, and it could be beautiful. Capricorn rising sun and moon, Vesta is in Scorpio in your 11th house, square Pluto in Aquarius in the second house, and trine Venus in Pisces in the third house. Third house is neighborhood, siblings, younger siblings, your vehicle as well. So you might going to actually buy a new vehicle or actually win a new vehicle, something but is luxurious and beautiful. But it's Vesta square Pluto in Aquarius, so that could be some kind of financial struggle between you and a friend. Maybe they are committed to pay you back, but they are not going to be able right now, and it could bring in some kind of issues with values between you. So it's not, you don't feel like it's fair, and you can actually cut the bond and cut the relationship. Um, Also, if you are committed to a group, there could be like maybe you had to pay an annual fee, and it's beginning of the year, and maybe it was $150,000 to get into that group. I don't know. And then right now you feel like you didn't really get out any kind of relationship or business partnership from that, club, and that's why you don't want to pay it anymore. And then the other thing, what could happen over here for you guys, you know, because of its second house, there could be definitely a major change with your finances, and your values and morals are changing as well. The food that you eat, it's also going to be different. You're going to feel like you want to eat more pungent, like earthy, but Aquarius also air sign, so also a lot of leafy vegetables as well. And Pluto could be like maybe organs, like maybe to help your nervous system, because that could be as well. Um, or more B vitamins as well. But there will be a lot of transformation in the second house, and finances looks better. You're going to definitely involved or learn about cryptocurrency, AI, quantum AI, artificial intelligence, anything like that, which could bring in financial increase later on, and actually it's going to be for the better for you. You are harmonizing communication right now because of Vesta in 11th house and Venus in Pisces, there is a really, really great connection with actually with some kind of group. It could be social media group. You can create an application or you can create your own social media group, and it's going to have a lot of actually followers right away and connections. So you also can actually create a healing circle, anything to do with beach dancing or, like drum circle, things like that. Anything to do with frequency healing as well could be really good during this time. Uh, but transform your finances, like you really have to try to to be more innovative and forward thinking, like not thinking about money on a traditional way, in a traditional bank. You have to actually change and adopt to the new situation, to the new era right now, what we are entering with Pluto in Aquarius. And it requires a lot of knowledge, and it could be bothersome at the beginning because you can be lost in transition, but and translation, but you will be okay, I promise, later on. Yes, and you might going to actually require some help from professional, or invest in stock market as well. It could be as well. It could be also joint ventures and group investment as well. And those one actually could work out very well. I would think, because the trine between Vesta and Venus, so it could be really, really nice. And you can renew friendship, or you can meet new people and VIP people, people who want you to succeed, people who help you to succeed, could happen right now. All right, Aquarius rising sun and moon, it's going to happen. Vesta is in your 10th house, square Pluto in Aquarius in your first house, and trine Venus in Pisces in your second house. All right, so 10th house, anything to do with your public image, with your career, and first house is anything about you, the way you actually represent yourself and represent your company. And Venus in Pisces in the second house, it is finances. So, for example, career change, promotion, becoming a CEO, face of the company, advocate for the company could bring in a big, huge promotion for you. And obviously, it's going to increase your money, right? And then, if anything was outdated, Pluto in Aquarius, about you, about your image, you have to change it. You have to have a different technique, the way you talk, the way you stand, the way you represent yourself. It actually have to align what you represent in the 10th house of career, right? So that's why maybe you feel like your boss, the CEO, the leader of the group is like way too, the public image creator is way too bossy or rude. That's what you think at the beginning, but they just want the best for you. But actually, transformation is always, like heavy on the soul, and it's always hard, actually. Um, but believe me, it's going to be for the better. So you might going to have to change your image, your wardrobe, if you didn't like skirts before, you have to have skirts on, or vice versa, maybe a pantsuit, whatever, because it's more professional, because you are maybe a police chief or something like that, and that's I don't know, that's what they require. There could be also amazing emotional fulfillment with finances, and you are capable to have saving account right now, and you are capable to increase the value of your investment, your portfolio as well. The way, because of you are getting promotions, and that could actually healing your image, because not only your public image, but your confidence going to get a lot better as well, and your values are changing as well. Because of you gonna have more confidence, obviously the values going to be a little bit different as well. But definitely in the public eye, you will be seen like someone who is beautiful, someone who is wise, someone who is devoted, a devoted person who is beautiful and has a lot of internal beauty, and kindness in it, and very compassionate person as well. Very magnetic. It's a lot of magnetism as well. Uh, Yeah, so that's what I see for you guys. And then Pisces rising, sun and moon. Actually, what's going to happen for you over here? Let me see my little chart here. Okay, all right. So Pisces rising, actually, Venus is going to your first house, and Vesta is going to be in your ninth house, and the square is between in Aquarius, right? Uh, because Pluto is going to be in Aquarius and Vesta going to square with it in your 12th house, there could be some kind of issue with foreign matters. For example, anything to do with, like maybe there is some kind of mental and emotional breakdown and overwhelming, or maybe depression. And, you want to actually study and you have a major, career or a project, maybe a publishing project, but you are sleepy all the time, or you are depressed a little bit and you are not capable to write at this moment. Or it could be also like there is some kind of hidden enemy, some kind of lost bureaucratic paperwork if you want to get your citizenship, your green card, something like that, and you have to overcome that. But because Vesta is exalted in your first house, you will feel charming and you will feel like I have to change everything about myself, and I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to take compliments and being beautiful. And like you are going to go for a lot of foreign trips. You might going to go to for example, retreats as well, and you really are going to enjoy that. You might want to learn another language. Going to a foreign country, move to a foreign country is possible. Purchase a land in a foreign country is possible, or a house is possible right now. Get a lover from or a second marriage from who is foreigner to you is also possible, but long distance traveling definitely. If you invest in stocks, it could be actually maybe foreign currencies and foreign stocks as well. uh, yes, you can be a teacher as well, going and like teaching something in foreign countries while you are traveling, and that's how you pay your bills. But Vesta anyway going to square over here with what is that? With Pluto. And Pluto in the 12th house could be some kind of power struggle, some kind of emotional issues, anything to do with hidden traumas. Maybe you abused in your childhood before, and that's coming up right now, many times in your dreams. And somehow you feel like you have to go to maybe a hypnotherapy or somewhere, or maybe just seek for professional help because it's going on your nerves. On the other hand, you're going to have more vivid dreams as a Pluto in your 12th house the next 20 years, going to have a lot of vivid lucid dreams and prophetic dreams, and your intuition going to be really, really powerful, right? And it squares with Scorpio in the ninth house. So you can download, and ninth house anyway, it's philosophical beliefs. So it could change your philosophical beliefs. Some kind of experience in the past, what was actually hidden from you, might going to come up. And right now you feel like, all right now I'm changing all my beliefs because of, I just found out something about my family, my inheritance, I've been abused some way, or manipulated some way, and it's not suiting anymore whatever I believed, and I'm seeking for a new philosophy. But first I have to go to, what actually it reminds me, the Eat, Pray, Love book, and they have a movie also about that. Uh, and that is definitely like, okay, let's find something. There was a trauma over there. Let's go and seek for some kind of new philosophical belief. Let's go to Italy and taste all the foods, and things like that. So this is the book. This is the story. It's reminded me. So by the end, there is a square. By the end, you find yourself and you find something beautiful, Pisces, rising, sun, and moon. So I really like that for you. And I told you guys, I started with that. It is like a a whole entire stellium in February and the end of January in our sign, and it is going to give us power. It's unbelievable. North Node is going to Pisces. It's like Pisces rising sun and moon, or if you have a stellium in Pisces, actually it's going to be one of the golden child of the zodiac for 18 months, because North Node is Jupiterian in flavor. It's a blessing. It's bring change in your passion, in your career, in your, in your purpose, actually, and it's giving you new purpose. All right, guys, if you loved my podcast, please like, subscribe, and comment below, and give me some thumbs up over here, because that's the way the algorithm finds me and I can create more content for you. I'm happy to be here. As I said, I wish you all the best, and everything I hope your heart desires going to come through. Thank you so much to being here with me today. Bye for now.